Would you agree with me that our values and our morals today are different from when you were young? Kids are a little bit more disrespectful today than they used to be. The things that were wrong back then, well, today they're okay. And the things that were right back then, well, now they're wrong. Let's look at 2 Timothy. You should know this, Timothy. In the last days, there will be very difficult times. For people will love only themselves and their money. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. They will be unloving and unforgiving. They will slander others and have no self-control. They will be cruel and hate what is good. They will betray their friends, be reckless, be puffed up with pride, and love pleasure rather than God. Have you ever said to someone, why don't you just tell it to me the way it is? Stop beating around the bush. Well, that's what the Bible does in 2 Timothy. You see, the root of our problem is a corrupt character. If you look at 2 Timothy, it lists all those things that it lists are character defects. When sin came into humanity back in the garden, that's where the corruption started. And when something becomes corrupted, it will never be uncorrupted. If I want to turn my life around, God doesn't say to me, you know what, why don't you just stay the same? I'll patch things up just a little bit here and there. No, he tells us that we have to become a completely new creation, a new man, born again of that uncorruptible seed of the Word of God. You see, sin always wants more ground. So once that corruption starts, it will never stop until whatever it's corrupting is completely dead. Let's say you have a piece of fruit, a delicious piece of fruit, and you set it in front of you. While that fruit is sitting in front of you, the decay inside of it has already begun. And if you let that piece of fruit sit there long enough, it will become completely rotten. I feel great. I feel very healthy. When I go to the doctors, I always get a good report. But inside, I am dying. I have been corrupted by sin. And that corruption in me will not stop until I'm dead. Paul says in the first verse of 2 Timothy, it says that in those last days, so there will be an end. In those last days, life will become very, very hard. It will become terrible. Well, humanity, will become so corrupt. The corruption in humanity will become so bad that we will be completely rotten. That's going to happen. There's no stopping it. Are we living in the last days? I have no idea how long the last days will be. But I can tell you the signs are all around us. It's a lot like when you're deer hunting. You're out hunting day after day after day and you don't see any deer. But there's signs all around you that there's deer in the area. You just hope that one day a deer is going to show up. Well, after a while we become complacent with seeing all of the deer sign around us and we start to believe that there's no deer. But there are deer in the area. You're surrounded by the sign. If you're not used to waking up to an alarm, the first time you use it, you'll jump right out of the bed. It's the most annoying sound you've ever heard. But after a while of waking up every day to the same alarm, it won't be long before you're sleeping right through it. It's amazing how we become so complacent with something that we don't even notice it. Have you been sleeping through the alarm in your life?